In the sea of watches available nowadays, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming for people new to the hobby. There's always the obvious choice of the big names, but as you scratch the surface, a little word micro-brand inevitably pops up. Although I think in recent times brands prefer the term independent, but that's a discussion for another time. A relatively new player to the game, launched in April 2018 through Kickstarter, saw the birth of Traska with their first watch, the Freediver. It was funded within a few hours, so it seems they're onto something, and the designs are inspired by the founder's love for vintage watches and travelling. Fast forward to 2021, Traska is now on its fourth release, the Venturer, which we'll be taking a closer look at today. Just a side note, I have 2 of the 4 colour options that will be available at launch, and I'm told these are prototypes of the final model. One thing I've noticed with Traska is they have stuck to their guns with vintage sizing, which is super cool, and the Venturer is no different. The brushed 316L surgical grade stainless steel case that has also had Traska's proprietary hardening treatment applied so you can stress less about your typical scratches and swirls, measures in at 38.5mm in diameter and a thickness of 11.8mm including the double dome box sapphire crystal. With a lug-to-lug of 46mm, a measurement that is provided on all their watches and the website, thank you, and a lug width of 20mm, it all works in unison to create a very wearable watch for many wrist sizes, as seen on my 17cm wrist here. The details continue along the case with a gentle slope of the brushed lugs, and drilled lug holes may I add, which have additional polished chamfers that delineates the transition from brushed to radial finishings. Further visual interest is added by the ever so slightly convex nature of the mid-case, yet it manages to sit flat on the wrist. The thin, slope fixed bezel is a touch of elegance. From afar it looks polished, which it is. However, the lower portion drops off in a vertical fashion to reveal its radial brushed flanks and integrates wonderfully with the case profile. This bezel adds a touch of class, which means the Venturer wears well in a variety of situations if that matters to you. From here we flow down to the solid, fully articulating 3-link style stainless steel bracelet, finished with the same hardening treatment as the case and has a lovely taper from 20mm to 16mm. The double push clasp is well finished with polished chamfers and the company's logo. The inside of the clasp has also been hand polished with a perlage finish, something you don't even see on higher end pieces. The buckles, 4 micro adjustments and removable links through the use of flathead screws make sizing the bracelet a fairly straightforward affair. As mentioned earlier, drilled lugs will also make strap changes a breeze for those that wish to change the look on the odd occasion. At the 3 position, there's a well-sized, signed, coin-edge, screw-down crown which is easy to manipulate. I really love the clean lines here, as well as with no crown guards. Impressively, there's even a high-polished chamfer on both crowns. Winding of the Miyota 9 caliber movement is quite smooth, and once pulled to the first position, we have quick set date function, while in the second there's hacking of the seconds hand, and of course the ability to change time. A full wind of this automatic movement provides 42 hours of power reserve, and all movements are regulated by Traska in 4 positions with an accuracy of -10 to +20 seconds a day. The second crown at the 10 position operates the internal rotating bezel that displays a second time zone, which is just awesome. Supposedly a globe motif replaces the logo on the crown here, but it's not present on this piece. Continuing with the travel adventure persona, the Venturer also possesses 150 metres of water resistance for any excursions from dry land. On the reverse, it's a simple, solid, screwed-in case back with simple engravings of the model, water ratings, etc. Up front, as mentioned earlier, is a boxed-style sapphire crystal that also boasts a thick layer of clear anti-reflective coating on the underside, helping to eliminate glare and for easy reading. There will be 4 colour variants that will be available, which are the carbon black, mint green, and the Arctic white and steel blue as seen here today. The Venturer cleverly makes use of a lacquered dial to achieve its glossy finish. The brass dial blanks are first sprayed using an enamel paint before going into a specialised high temperature oven, after which they are hand polished. Under macro they are very well finished, with the blue dial appearing to even have a hint of texture to it. On the outer internal bezel, we have a 12-hour scale in Arabic numerals to correspond to the different time you want to account for. Vertical hash markers spaced at 30-minute intervals allow for some extra precision. I do really like the blue on blue version here. While on the white dial it's almost a light grey, which looks okay, but I think I would prefer black to match the logo and outer markers. On the main dial, the outer scale is a simple minutes track, while the well-finished applied polished batten markers stand proud and clear. The batten hands are diamond cut and slope up ever so slightly on either side and then taper off to a flat plane. This subtle angle creates a wonderful visual effect that is pleasing and reflects light beautifully and perform well under macro inspection, while the seconds hand is a clean, simple stick style that finishes off the handset. All hands and markers are generously filled with BGW9 Swiss-made Superluminova, which has a blue hue to it and is applied very well. Thoughtfully, the 12-hour numerals are also loomed, which is a great touch. The date window is integrated well at the 6th position with a nicely finished polished frame. I do think a colour matched date window would have been icing on the cake here, but I'm just nitpicking. Text is kept to a minimum on the dial, which is pleasing to see and matches the clean aesthetics of the watch. I have to say, the Venturer is a well thought out, simple, dual time watch that's been skillfully executed. It really is a hybrid of a sports, casual and dive watch, which on paper sounds crazy, yet somehow seamlessly blends together, and they've created an affordable and what should be reliable travel companion. Thanks for watching the review, I hope you enjoyed it. Please do all that good stuff, like, subscribe and share. If you want to follow more daily content, head over to my Instagram page at Mr. Ace K Productions. Until next time.